Welcome, everyone, to the 2021 Open House. I am Principal John Jeffries, and we are joining you from our homes right now. And we have a few other folks with us today. And why don't you introduce yourself, Mr. Mosaad?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amro Mosaad. I'm an assistant principal at the Middlesex County Academy in Edison. And I'm going to introduce our counselor, Mr. Richard Fernandez.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Richard Fernandez. I am the school counselor at the Edison Academy. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful morning. And now we're going to introduce one of our seniors, Ayan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ayan Kayoum. I am a senior at the Middlesex County Academy, and I am currently in the mechanical engineering track.
All right, great. So let's go over how this is going to work. We just want to introduce ourselves and let you know that there will be a video that we're going to show that is updated for this year. It's very similar to the video that was last year, but we did try to update it with some new video clips. So we're all going to watch the video together, and then once the video concludes, we're going to take questions. So you're going to place your questions in the comment box, and when you put them in the comment box, our moderator, who is actually my daughter Jocelyn, she will put them up on the screen so that people can see them, and then one of us will answer the questions. Okay, so we expect this to go till around 10:30, 10:45, depending on how long the questions are. We tried to make the video as comprehensive as possible, and we hope you enjoy it. So now, without any further ado, let's watch our video. Welcome to the Middlesex County Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technologies virtual open house. I am Principal John Jeffries, and I'm delighted to tell you more about our magnificent school. Our school is considered a small learning community. Small learning communities are based on 3 R's. First is rigor. Our school is rigorous, with all of our courses being taught at the AP or honors level by individuals who are experts in their field, many of whom have come from industry. The next R is relevance. This is an engineering magnet school, and STEM is our relevance. It permeates through everything we do. The last R is relationships, which is the most important. Our students, staff, and parents develop strong relationships with each other built on mutual trust. To find out more about our school, the website www.mcvts.net/Edison is a good place to start. In addition, our social media accounts have the most current information on what's happening at our school. Our Twitter page is at MCVTS_ACE. My Instagram is ACE_principal_JJ. And on Facebook, we have an Academy Foundation page that is used to get information and highlights out to parents. New Jersey is ranked #1 in education in the United States, and our school is ranked #1 in the state of New Jersey. In addition, last year we were ranked #2 in STEM in the country, which I am most proud of because STEM is what we do here. It's our prime directive. One new thing at the school is our makerspace, where students have the opportunity to be creative, build things, and work together to solve problems. We offer numerous AP courses here at the Academy. They include AP Calculus BC, AP Statistics, AP Physics 1, AP Language and Composition, AP Spanish, AP Literature and Composition, AP Environmental Science, AP Biology. For AP tests, students at our school can choose to take nearly any AP tests that they like. Last year, about 400 AP tests were administered at our school. Students did not have to go to their home districts to take them. We have a commons area in our building that serves as our lunchroom, as a location for students to gather before and after school, for large assemblies, for fun days, and for dances. For physical education, our school does not have a gym. Our students walk down about a half a mile to Middlesex County College's Physical Education Center. There they have access to racquetball courts, a large gym, a pool, a fitness center, and they have access to all the surrounding fields. For our engineering career majors, we have civil mechanical engineering and we have electrical computer engineering. Freshman students will have a quarter of each as an exploratory course. Halfway through the year, they will be placed in one or the other based on their grade in the course, based on how well they did in the exploratory course, the teacher's recommendation, and what the student wants to do. We have an Academy Foundation that serves as our PTO. here at the school. This parent group provides scholarships for our seniors. They manage events like our welcome picnic for the new freshmen, international night around the holidays, and an alumni panel in January. They also provide many grants for our students who need financial support to hold events and contests. Enjoy the remainder of our virtual tour as you hear from our engineering teachers, alumni, current students, and new students.
It is great to be recognized as the top school in New Jersey by U.S. News & World Report, particularly since there are so many outstanding high schools in New Jersey. It's even more satisfying to be named one of the top STEM schools in the nation, since our motto here is that we put the E in STEM. As educators, we know, however, that rankings do not give a total picture of a school. In the best case, they may give a sense of how college-ready the graduates of a school will be by looking at certain measures like AP scores. But there's so much more to being an Academy student. For this reason, we think that it's vitally important that you hear from some of our faculty, students, and alumni before making the decision whether the Academy is right for you.
I've learned that I can do a lot more things than I thought. So, for example, in my freshman year, I did soccer, mostly to stay in shape. But I learned that I'm actually not bad at it. So, before I went to the academy, I would never have actually tried soccer or any sports in general, especially in high school, because it's a very different environment here. It's much more accepting than your average high school. And I also learned that I am good at math mostly because at my previous school, in my middle school, I was okay at it, mostly average, not bad, but not the best. But this year and previous years, I've done a lot more advanced math than I would have done at my regular high school.
So in middle school, I was really stuck between applying to the Woodbridge Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences and this academy, which is more engineering based. I spent the time to talk to people who went to both academies, and I feel like there was a real passion for math and for engineering, that when you just talk to people who went to this school, you could tell that they were really interested in the subject. And I kind of wanted to feel what that was like. So I picked this one over Woodbridge. Honestly, I think it was the people here. I've made some of the strongest friendships I've ever had at the academy, and I think my passion for math, for science, for computer science, I think it's strengthened because I was surrounded by people who really, really loved what they were doing. I think overall, because it was intimidating at first, but then you get comfortable with everyone, you learn to have confidence in yourself, and you can apply that when you go to university and when you go into the workforce.
I learned over the 4 years that no matter what, as long as I put my mind to it, I could accomplish anything. Whether it's a difficult exam coming up or getting on the varsity soccer team, as long as you work hard and work through all the problems, you can do anything. Make sure you have a passion for what you want to do here. If you don't have the passion, if you don't like what you're doing, it won't come easy and it will actually be more difficult.
So the biggest thing that made me choose the academy as opposed to my regular township high school was the rigorous STEM program. In middle school, I found myself really captivated by math and science and all the extracurriculars involved. And the faculty in middle school said that this might be an option for you. Although I wasn't totally set at the beginning, it was one of the best decisions I made in middle school, choosing to attend the academy, which really highlighted all those needs for science and math. The biggest highlight after attending the academy would definitely be the senior showcase and the senior proposal project. It really allowed us to take all these things that we learned throughout the years, put some mechanical effort into our learning, and finally come up with a product that nicely culminated the 4 years of learning at the academy, amongst all the other great things that we did here. The one thing that really stuck away was work ethic and dedicating yourself to real good study hours. I feel like the academy, the teachers, the curriculum, the workload here really prepared all of the graduates to attend courses at universities in the rigor that they present themselves in. A lot of students have that transition period where they attend university and there's a little bit of a gray area. But for us, leaving the academy, I feel like we were so well prepared to jump into that heavier course load, and it just was a breeze adjusting to the university lifestyle. Really cherish all your engineering courses because not only do they teach you the material and how to think like that, but like an engineer, but they allow you to apply that for all your disciplines, and it's the level of thinking that really defines Academy alumni.
We have a wide variety of clubs that make every student's experience much more rich and enjoyable. From honor societies, to competitive academic teams, to service clubs, we have something for everyone. We consider extracurriculars and the leadership opportunities they provide to be an essential part of an Academy student's journey through their 4 years with us.
Something that I learned from the Academy was time management. I was involved in a lot of extracurriculars, and I still am in college. I'm in a lot of recreational sport clubs, and I'm in social entrepreneurship clubs. And the way I manage my time is how I manage it back in the Academy.
One of my favorite activities, extracurricular at the Academy, was the Waxman Scholars Institute project. We took work with Dr. Ricketts and later Miss Oakley to work on analyzing our own individual protein samples. It was one of the more captivating extracurricular activities because it allowed me to stem to where I am academically now at university with biological sciences. It found that niche within the STEM community for me that allowed me to find what I truly enjoy doing.
I want to join esports, ACSL, and Quiz Bowl. Esports interests me because I've always loved video games, and ACSL is mostly about computer science and coding, which is also one of my strong suits. And Quiz Bowl is pretty cool because you get to answer questions on a variety of topics, and you really can't do that in any other place.
So when joining clubs, I'm really looking to give back to the community and sort of grow as a person. And so I was thinking I'd join FBLA, Debate Club, JSA, Red Cross, or Quiz Bowl. And there are many other clubs which are pretty interesting too.
One of the things that I would add from my experience at the Academy would definitely be to take advantage of all our extracurricular activities and the small size of the school. It's very easy to build bonds, relations with all the students and faculty here, and that's something that now as a university student you really take for granted with the large sizes of classrooms.
We have a 4-year engineering program, perhaps unmatched by any high school in the country. We have a dedicated faculty and support staff whose commitment has only increased during the recent challenges we faced. We have a senior mentorship program where students complete an unpaid internship during the 12th grade. There, they gain workplace experience and develop soft skills that are so important in making our graduates not just college ready, but also career ready.
As you will find out through your journey at the Academy, we are not your typical school. We are not your typical teachers, and engineering is not your typical course. My name is Mr. Paterno. I am the Electronics, Computers, Engineering Technologies instructor. I am an engineer by trade for 25 years of experience as an engineer with companies such as AT&T and Lucid Technologies. I have been with the Academy since 2001. I have taught as well as an adjunct professor at Middlesex County College and NJIT in the Electrical and Computer Science departments. I have designed the ECET engineering program for grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. The program is designed to make sure that the student receives the required foundation and skill set to prepare them for the next level. The goal of the ECET program is to prepare students for college and the professional career workforce. Having the same engineering instructor throughout the entire program allows to build a better relationship between the student and the teacher, as I get to know the strengths and the weaknesses, and as such, I can provide differentiated instruction throughout the student's academic career. A strength of the Academy is the exploratory program. The objective is to expose students to 2 engineering majors and find out, from the students' and instructors' perspective, which major is the most compatible. This is achieved as a result of the program's rigorous design to bring to the surface the student's strengths and weaknesses of various imperative engineering skill sets. At the end of the program, the goal is to place students in one of two engineering majors based on their desire and performance. This is one of the most important decisions a student will make in their lifetime. The goal thereof is to have all students pursue a positive experience for the remaining time at the Academy. From its conception, the exploratory program has worked very well and has proven a good track record. We all are wired differently, and we all are destined to be successful in a particular subject area that best fits our skill set. At the end of the day, whatever the outcome of the program is, it will result in a student matriculating to the major best suited to fit his or her potentials. At the senior level, students are working on the capstone project. Students are to provide an innovative solution to solve a real-life problem, designing and implementing their product from conception to realization. The course is designed to mimic a real-world work environment and to acquire the required soft and technical skills to achieve their design. The capstone project, along with our mentorship program, provide our students readiness for their future academic and professional career. The long-term goal, if you will, is to get students ready for the future workforce. I want to thank you for choosing the Academy. I am looking forward to meet you in person this fall.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Marc Weinstein. I am the mechanical engineering teacher for the Mechanical and Civil Engineering program at the Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technologies. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the program that we have here in mechanical engineering and the thrust of what we try and do. It's a 4-year program that starts off in exploratory with the 9th graders, where they have a chance to see how I teach and some of the key aspects of mechanical engineering. At the end of the first semester, the kids will decide, based upon what they've seen in their first marking periods, which teacher, and pick the major they want for the remaining part of their time. With mechanical engineering, we focus on engineering design process, and that gets started from day one when the freshmen start with their tower challenge, where they have to design a paper tower to hold as much weight as possible. In the second semester, we start looking at how the design process really progresses. We look at designing principles. We look at specifically have a design project in freshman year where they design a chocolate bar to support the school, and they have to look at the marketing of it, the graphics, packaging design, and the ingredients. They learn brainstorming, project planning, etc. These skills will be used throughout the mechanical engineering track because each year we have different design projects that the students work upon. So in sophomore year, they begin looking at how objects work together. They have a sorting project where the class is divided into teams, and they have to look at 3 main sub-assemblies that have to work together to sort a series of balls. And the impetus for this is they're a design concern trying to mine an asteroid in outer space. So size is a constraint, weight, and how fast they can sort the products. In junior year, this goes into looking more at sub-assemblies, how they work together. We have a Rube Goldberg project of 3 or 4 teams where the students work together designing individual sub-assemblies that must work together. And this is all in preparation for the senior project. When the students will work in teams of 2 or 3 students and come up with a design project. It doesn't necessarily have to be a brand new one. It could be a view of doing it something differently, and it's really to demonstrate what they've learned in the 4 years at the Academy. Now, it's not just working on projects. We also looked at what engineers do. We will start off with statics in sophomore year, which is a basic course in all of engineering in college that serves as a distribution requirement for non-mechanical and civil engineers, or as the basics for civil and mechanical engineers. We then build upon that with simple machines, thermodynamics, heat transfer for the sophomore year. And the junior year, we look at mechanisms, which forms a big part of their senior project, where each project will have to have some types of mechanisms, whether it's a linkage, cams, or gears. And the students have a good founding in those aspects of mechanical engineering. In the second half of the junior year, then we go back to what we're doing in statics. We'll go to the next level, looking at beam theory, column buckling, and these are advanced topics that are taught normally in the junior year of college. We're doing it junior year of high school. When the students finish the 11th grade year, they have a good founding in the basics of mechanical engineering, and it prepares them for the first 2 or 3 years of college if they so choose to go into engineering. If they choose to go in a different field, the whole program prepares them for how to manage a project, how to do presentations, how to organize their thoughts, brainstorming, etc. So it prepares them for a good life, either in engineering or outside of engineering, of working with people, working in teams, and coming up with solutions to problems that face them. So I hope this answers your questions as you may have. And if you have any more questions, you may email me. I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ritvik Pagaku, and I am a freshman at MCA. Well, engineering has always been my career path, which I would like to follow. And seeing as this school mainly focuses on engineering, it was just a no-brainer to come here. Well, I really like the atmosphere of the school, how it's so small, and you really get to know everyone here. It really feels like a family, and it's just a blast that we are all so close with each other.
Hi, I'm Manasi, and I'm a freshman at MCA right now. I applied to the Academy because it has very specialized STEM courses and a small learning community, which allows for more attention to each student and their problems, and if they need help, you know, everyone's there for you. I really enjoyed how all the teachers are very helpful, and they want to listen to your problems, they want to know how you're doing, and they'll frequently check in with you. And all the people here are so nice, especially the upperclassmen. They really make me feel like I belong here.
Hello, and thank you for your interest in Middlesex County Academy for Science, Math, and Engineering Technologies. We hope that you are safe and healthy during the challenging times that we are currently faced with. My name is Rich Fernandez, and I'm the school counselor here at the Academy. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our counseling program and support services here. Our program is comprehensive, coordinated, and proactive. The focus is on the entire student, supporting their academic, career, and personal social development. It is a vital part of the educational experience offered to students at our school. Our counseling program also consists of integrated activities in cooperation with the entire school community. Students are encouraged to maximize success in school, achieve social competence, and are supported in their development as contributing members of society. An integral part of the program focuses on providing the knowledge and skills needed to understand and effectively cope with daily life and to develop effective decision-making skills now and in their future. We work with all students individually and in groups addressing personal concerns and school-related issues. There are organized programs in place for academic advising, career exploration, and college planning. I always tell the students, no matter what they need help with, my door is always open. We are extremely proud of our most recent graduates. The schools they were accepted to proves that 4 years of hard work and determination at the Academy truly does pay off. An example of the institutions that they were accepted to are NYU, Princeton University, Penn State, University of Southern California, Rutgers University, Georgia Tech, and UPenn, just to name a few. Our current seniors have been working hard on their college applications. They've been spending time with our English teacher, Ms. Burke, one-on-one for help with essay writing, resume building, and their cover letters. This is an example of our staff pitching in to make sure our students are given the necessary tools to succeed inside and outside the classroom. Appointments are always recommended for anyone who wishes to meet with me. In order to apply to Middlesex County Academy, a student must be in 8th grade during the application season. They must successfully complete a full year of Algebra 1 by June of their 8th grade year and live in Middlesex County. All students who apply participate in a selective admissions process. The The process considers middle school grades and a school-developed assessment in language arts, writing, and math. The number of applicants to the Academy has increased each year, and each subsequent year reflects strong competition for a limited number of seats. Students are offered admission after successfully completing the application process and admission test. Please refer to our website for more information. Please refer to the calendar often for planned events, dates to remember, and more. We thank you again for your interest in the Academy, and we hope you enjoy the other segments on our virtual open house.
We are honored and grateful that you are considering the Edison Academy as your home for the next 4 years.
All right, fantastic. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. The video will be on our website, the link to just the video that we just showed. And there will also be a link to this live stream for you to be able to watch as well. If you missed the beginning of it, I know there were some folks that joined a little bit later. So I want to thank Mr. Fernandez for doing all the shots last year and again this year. And I want to thank Jocelyn for doing all of the editing. My daughter Jocelyn helped us with that. She's also helping as our moderator. So if you could please put any questions that you have for us, now is the time to do that. And we will put them up on the screen, as you can see right there. So we will start to answer them. So good morning. How do we register for the assessment test on Saturday, December 11th? Mr. Mosaad, do you want to take that?
Sure. So our application is now open. If you go to admissions.mcvts.net, you can fill out our application. It's the Academy application. It's the same application for both the Edison and Woodbridge Academies, but you will have to choose one of the two schools to apply to. Once your application is processed, your counselor will also fill out a portion, but once it's completely processed, you'll automatically be registered for the admissions test. So you'll be receiving information in December about the logistics of that. So there's no additional steps you need to take to sign up for the test.
The admissions test will be done online this year, similar to the way that it was done last year. So we'll be sending out information on what that will look like as far as the logistics. Okay, next question. All right, Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that?
I can take that. You know, while we do encourage for you guys, to apply to Ivy League schools, we kind of look at it as having a balanced plate when it comes to applying to colleges. So, success is going to be based on who you are as an individual and how hard you work. So when I deal with college with the juniors and the seniors, we don't really talk a lot about Ivy League schools. Again, it's having that balance to your plate. But we have had students that go to Ivy League schools the past 4 years that I've been here. Brown, UPenn, Princeton, just to name a few. But students do get accepted into Ivy League schools. But again, we want you guys to have more of a balanced portfolio.
Yeah, and one of the things I always tell seniors is don't be so concerned about the name of the school. Be concerned about the program that the schools offer and the setting of the school. If you don't like being in the city or living in the city, you may not want to go to somewhere like NYU or Columbia. If you do love it, then maybe you should consider going there. It's also about the program that's offered at the individual school. So if there's something specific that you want to do, you want to look into the schools that actually have those programs and who gets the best rating and who's doing it the best. So, okay, next question. All right. How are we going to get the admissions tests? So we kind of answered that question already. Mr. Mosaad, do you want to talk about the admissions test real quick?
Yeah, just to repeat that, you do not need to take any extra steps after you apply to be registered. You just have to be checking your email, checking the admissions portal, where we will send messages. I know some people are going to ask, how do you prepare? There are some sample questions on our website. So if you go to admissions under the Edison Academy website, you'll see some FAQs. In those FAQs are some sample questions. It's a very general test, has a math section, a reading section, and a writing section, which is an essay. Just do your best in your classes. And I think that's the best preparation you could do right now.
Okay. All right. Considering this is a STEM high school, how much time is given to the liberal arts throughout the 4 years of high school? So this is still a regular public high school. So we do devote a significant amount of time to liberal arts as well. Students have to take 4 years of English language arts. Many of our students take more than that. They take 2 AP classes there. We also have 3 years mandatory of history. We now have AP US history, which has just been added for this year. We also added AP chemistry as an option for students. And then as far as other liberal arts are concerned, we do have world language offerings. We have from Spanish 1 honors all the way up to AP Spanish. And then as far as fine arts are concerned, the students will have fine arts kind of woven through their language arts class. We also have a art in March, which is a month-long celebration of art. And we have a lot of clubs that are devoted to art, including musical cast, which is something that Ion is in. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, of course. Musical cast is a celebration of music, and it consists of both an orchestra, a wind ensemble, and a chorus. And we work to produce music that's played at the talent show, during the March Cabaret, and at the end of the year during the summer festival. And so that's something that people are really worried about, not being able to play their instrument here at the school, because there isn't there aren't any band courses here. Instead, you have the chance to take that as an extracurricular, to be able to practice your instrument out after school.
Okay, good. Yeah, we do have a talent show usually in December. We also have a cabaret, which is a mixture of different types of fine art in March. And then at the end of the school year, last couple of days of school, we'll have a summer fest. And that will usually be outside, and we'll have singing, and we'll have dance, and we'll have a variety of different things. Okay, next question. How many students will be allowed in the school, and what will be on the student assessment to determine whether or not a student will get in? Okay, so as far as the number of students that are accepted every year, it's 44 students. So last year we had approximately 400 applications, a little bit more than 400 applications. From that group, we chose 130 to interview. Every student from each town will get at least an interview. Okay, so that's irregardless of their test score. So we will have interviews, and then after the interviews, we will select 44 students, and then everyone who is interviewed is actually on the wait list. and may be called anywhere from, mid-March all the way up until the first day of school, and sometimes after the first day of school. So, we maintain a wait list up until that point. And then as far as what will be on the student assessment, I think we already covered that. So we don't just look at the grade on, your score on the placement test. We also look at recommendation letters. We also look at your grades in seventh and eighth grade. Any standardized tests that you may have taken during that time. I realized during COVID there weren't a lot of standardized tests given, but if we have any of those scores, we'll take a look at those as well. And then your essay that you will complete actually on your application is something else that we're going to look at. Okay. All right. Next question. Okay, Mr. Mosaad, do you want to take that?
Yeah, just to clarify, so the application is the same for both academies, Woodbridge and Edison. You go to the same place to fill out the application, but in filling out the application, you do have to choose one of the two academies. And for that reason, we're doing these open houses. Today, obviously, is Edison Academy. Next Saturday, the 23rd of October, will be an open house for Woodbridge Academy. So if you are considering both, we'd encourage you to attend that one as well to help you make your decision, which you do have to make before you apply.
All right. Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that?
Yeah, sorry, I was unmuted. Yeah, it's encouraged that when you are ready to submit your application to do so, but make sure you are communicating with your school counselor because they do have to submit documents on your behalf. Our deadline this year for applications are going to be November 24th. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So make sure you talk to your counselors because I know specific schools set earlier deadlines. But just, again, talk to your counselor. But when you're ready to submit, you can submit. And then just make sure you're following up with your counselor because they will be submitting your 7th grade final grades, your 8th grade first marking period grades when they are ready, and any attendance or disciplinary issues. But again, make sure you're communicating with your counselors.
So if you look at our website, the application is actually open if you want to go in and start, and you can take a look at the different components that we ask to be uploaded for us to consider you as someone that we would bring to the school. Okay. What grades do we have to have in 8th grade to get accepted? Most of the students have very good grades who choose to come here. That is a portion of what we look at with regard to our decision coming in, but most of the students have A's and B's coming through. So if there's something that's really severe, then we will likely score you relatively low on that. Okay. All right. Are students who attend the academy able to do electives at their home district if not offered? So French. So students, when they get to their junior or senior year, can take French at the college. You can also, in your sophomore year in the spring, you can start taking online classes at the college. You could take an online French class, but there is no mechanism in place that will allow you to actually take French at your home school. Okay, unless it were online or unless it were after school or in the evening or something like that. So no. So unfortunately, because we are a small school, we do only offer one subject right now. Okay, but most of the students coming in will take a placement test during orientation. Our Spanish teacher, Senior Acker, will actually give a placement test, and then students will either enter into Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. And if you enter into Spanish 2, it just allows you to get to AP Spanish in your junior year. Okay?
I just want to add one thing for the previous
go ahead.
question. You're allowed to participate in sports and activities from your home district. Like you can take part in the marching band, swimming. That's what I do. And but you can't take a course or things at the high school because that would conflict with the school scheduling. And about the sports, you can attend the sports, but you wouldn't be able to leave school early for practices, only for games, events of the like.
Yeah. So Ion does marching band. So when he has events for marching band, if he has to leave early for a competition, or if he has to, go to some special event, if they go on a trip, then we're going to excuse that absence. Okay. The same thing is true with sports. So we do have students who play sports for their home district. Tennis is pretty common. Students are able to leave school early when they have meets, but not for practices because we don't want you to miss too much school. Our school actually ends at 3:30 every day. So some of the sports actually start at 3 o'clock because most public schools actually finish around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Okay, so the sports will start then. Um, so it creates somewhat of a difficulty for some sports. Other sports, like we have a student that plays ice hockey, we have a student that, we have several students that swim in the winter. And those students, we find a way to make it work. They will provide us with a schedule, and then we will, make it work for them because we still want them to have that connection to their home district. Okay, next question. Test online or handwritten and in person this year. So, Mr. Mosaad, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, like last year, we will be doing the test online this year. We will be setting up very specific instructions in December so that you are ready to take it online at home on December 11th, I believe was the date we set.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so it's not in person this year.
All right. So it will be it will be on the computer, but it will be so you will be at home, and we'll send information on kind of how that works. Okay. Let's see. So the thing about the drama club, I think we answered that already. I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that that school is over at 3:30. So it's difficult if there's something that's right after school, it's tough. But with all of us learning how to go online and have club meetings online, it would be very easy for you to participate in a club meeting online, okay, outside of school. Okay, let's see. As an eighth grader, how do you know what to choose? Do you get admitted into the academy? Does it limit your career options? Let's see. Do you want to talk about that, Ion?
Of course. So, uh, this is a career preparatory school. It means it doesn't set you into, the engineering that you choose. And some of my friends, they want to do business, they want to do health, they want to do medical, and they've seen engineering and what they learned, and they can apply it to their career majors. But now is the time for them to decide that, oh, maybe I do want to pursue it, or maybe I don't want to pursue it. That was a very, very key thing about the school, is that you have that options to explore while you're at high school. To say that, oh, maybe engineering isn't for me, maybe engineering is for me. You have that flexibility.
And if you notice in the video, they talk about all of the various skills that you learn as you're in these classes. So it's time management, whether it's soft skills of being able to work together with other people, that can be applied to lots of different career majors. We do have a large contingent of students who are interested in business and business technology or entrepreneurship or marketing or something like that. And they apply what they learn in engineering to something like that. So Mr. Fernandez is the advisor for Future Business Leaders of America, and they participate in a variety of different things. And some of the competitions that they participate in are very technical in nature, and very math based. So the students apply what they learn in their engineering classes or in their mathematics classes to these types of competitions. We do have several students that are interested in going into some sort of medical field as well. So that's definitely an option. And we help get them prepared for whatever they want to do and get them to the college that's going to best suit them. Okay. Admissions test website address.
Yeah, I can take that.
Go ahead.
So as we mentioned, directions for the admissions test will be sent out in December prior to the test. Specifically where to go, what you need to do, all those details will be provided after applications are processed.
Right. And the other thing that Mr. Mosaad mentioned was that there's an FAQ portion on our website that will have some sample test questions for you to be able to kind of look and see what type of questions are actually on the exam. Okay. Let's see, transfer back to their home district, of course. So because we are part of the Middlesex County Vocational Technical Schools, this is a kind of a school of choice for students that live in Middlesex County. So if a student comes to the academy or is accepted to the academy or any of the vocational technical schools, the you know they have the option of actually deciding to go back to their home district. So this year we had a student who was a freshman last year who she decided that she wanted to go back to her home district for whatever reason, and we were able to find a student from our wait list from the year before to be able to come in as a sophomore. So that's rare that we do that, but every once in a while, Ion actually was an example of someone who came in his sophomore year, and I forget that all the time because he's been so ingrained in our school and so ingrained in our class. But we had to do a little bit of creative scheduling, but we were able to make it work, and he's become a leader here. Okay. What type of questions will be in the interview? Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that?
Sure. So during the interview process, we want to get to know you a little better. We're going to talk a little bit about some classes, some activities. Can you hold a conversation or not? But we just want to make sure that you're staying well-rounded in your middle school years. What activities, what clubs are you taking part of? What teachers have influenced you in your life. So again, we're looking at this as having a conversation with you guys and getting to know you better, and whether your views and your visions are going to align with our school's mission and our motto here as well. But don't be nervous. We're all very open and friendly and welcoming and warm. So again, just looking to get to know you a little better.
Yep. Some of them are as simple as what is your favorite book or what's your favorite movie. So we're really just trying to get to know you, but we also want to know what you're involved with in school and outside of school. That's going to make you a really good student at our academy. So what you're doing on your own time, but in addition to what type of clubs you're in, those are the type of questions that we're going to ask you. Okay. So the orientation is going to be for our admitted students. So generally at the end of the summer, usually the last couple days of August, we will have an orientation for our ninth graders. So for our new ninth graders. So the group that's applying right now will go through the admissions process probably by the beginning of March to mid-March, depending on snow days and how long it takes us to do all the interviews. We will have our class kind of chosen, and then once that happens, we'll have an open house and bring you in to meet the teachers and go over some more details. And then in June, our Academy Foundation will hold a welcome picnic, and that's an opportunity for you to start to get to know each other and for the parents to get to know each other. And then at the end of August, we'll have an orientation, and the orientation will have some structured things where we'll have our peer mentors come in and do some instruction on things like time management and study skills and things like that. But it'll also be some fun, kind of get to know you, icebreaker things. We'll also have the Spanish placement exam. And we'll get you IDs, we'll get you an agenda, we'll get you your locker, we'll get all that kind of set up. So that'll be next August for the students who are actually chosen. Okay. Let's see. Is it okay to submit an application and will documents be submitted later by the counselor? So yeah, the application process is through a company called SchoolMint. And Mr. Mosaad, you want to talk about that?
Sure. So you don't need to the counselor will be submitting your grades and other official documents. You just need to provide your counselor name and email when you fill out the application. And it's obviously a courtesy to let your counselor know that you're applying. But we'd recommend just speaking to your counselor beforehand, but nothing on your part needs to be sent in terms of grades or transcripts.
Okay. Paragraph in the application, weighing our chances of getting in. We're going to read through it when we actually or prior to us doing your interview. So we're going to read through them, and as we're making decisions, we're going to look at every piece of information about the student to try to make the best decision for whether or not we think that they're going to be successful and whether or not they're going to be on the wait list. Okay, so all of the information that we ask for is very important. So it will be a portion of that. Okay. Acceptance rate for the Edison Academy. I would say it's 1 out of every 10 students that applies will actually get into the Edison Academy. If we have 44 students every year and we have around 400 or so applications, it's about 10, one in every 10 students. So I wish the building were bigger. I wish we could bring in more students. The limiting factor would be our engineering classes because everyone takes engineering, and we want to make sure that the engineering teachers have enough space to be able to do their job properly, and enough computers for students when they're working on individual computers or they're working in our CAD lab. Okay. Can we go attend yes, we have a student this year who is from Carteret. So Carteret is part of Middlesex County. Okay, let's see. How many students are allowed in the school from each middle school? So we don't have a set amount of students that will come from each individual middle school. So every town in Middlesex County that has an application, every student will receive an interview. That doesn't necessarily mean that they will be accepted into the academy. We do want to make sure that we have a nice mixture of individuals from Middlesex County, but it's going to be based on the admissions test and it's going to be based on the interview and all the other documents that we asked you to submit. So we don't have a set number of students from each middle school, but we do take into account. So Edison has 4 middle schools, and Woodbridge has 4, I think, 4 or 5 middle schools. So we do want to make sure that we have a nice representation of students from those individual towns as well. So, but we do have students from Cranberry, we have students from Carteret, we have students from, Plainsboro. So some towns that are much further away. And sometimes we might have one student from that town and they come on a you know on, on a minivan in the morning and on the way home. So there is no set number, but we do try to make sure that we have a nice mixture of students from throughout all of the county, okay, because this is a county opportunity. Next question. Any certain percentages needed in math and science in 8th grade? I guess they're talking about the grade in there, percentages. Mr. Mosaad, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. As mentioned before, we do encourage all students who are eligible to apply. And to be eligible, you need to be in 8th grade and live in Middlesex County. There is no minimum grade or GPA you need to apply. However, most of the students we admit are generally A, B plus students in math and science. And most students are near the top of their class in middle school. But again, we encourage everyone to apply. The admissions test is open to everyone who applies. So I hope that answers the question.
Yep. When and how are the classes designed? I mean, class timings and days. So I can take that one. So the school actually, the homeroom starts at 8:45 in the morning and it goes till just before 9 o'clock. And we have class will go on Monday through Thursday. We will have blocks, which will be approximately 90-minute blocks. And you will have what's called a staggered schedule. So if you have math, let's say math and science, right? You'll have math on Monday and Wednesday and science on Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. And then on Friday, all of the classes meet for what's called a period schedule. All right. And the reason we do that is we want to make sure that we match up with the college's schedule. And so we don't have an A-B type day. We have a modified block. And this will allow students to have, less homework in the evening, but it'll also allow the teacher to have more time to cover material and do more in-depth things. So the classes are kind of designed that way. During your freshman and your sophomore year, the schedule is pretty much set for you. Everyone has the same schedule. Once you become a junior, you have a lot more flexibility with regard to taking electives, whether it's a college class at Middlesex College or one of our electives that we offer during the elective period, which could be public speaking, it could be a Spanish course, it could be AP statistics. It could be linear algebra. So those are just a couple of our electives that we actually offer. In your senior year, you have even more flexibility in your schedule to be able to take different electives during that time period. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. Let's see, Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that one?
Sure. So again, we will be sending out details for the admissions exam prior to the exam. The most important thing, I guess, is to have a stable connection. So generally, Chromebooks would be fine if your internet connection is fine. But if you have a desktop or something you feel better using, then we recommend using that. And students will be on camera during the admissions exam. So exactly how you'll need to set that up, we will specify that in the instructions that we send out in December.
Yep. Okay. Besides the 1 year of algebra, do you require geometry? So we realize that there are some schools in the county that do not offer geometry to 8th graders. So during the summer, if you are accepted during the summer, we will offer a geometry course for free for anyone who needs it. Students in their freshman year will actually start in Algebra 2 because we want everyone to start at the same level. Then they'll go into pre-calculus, then they'll go into AP Calculus BC, and in their senior year, they will take Calculus 3 and Calculus 4. Okay, most of them will. So there are some towns that only offer Algebra 1, so that's why we offer this. So if you're traveling over the summer, we do offer, you can pay to take an online geometry course, but you would obviously have to pass it. Okay, so we have one of our instructors that teaches geometry over the summer. So it is not a requirement for you to enter, and the admissions test will not have any geometry on it, okay, or anything major on there. Okay, next question. Is the test a time-based, and how much time is provided online? Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Yeah, so roughly the test will take about 3 hours total with breaks and all. It's going to be probably from 9 to 12 on the morning of December 11th. In terms of each section, that will be provided to you on the day of the test. Like I said, there's a math section, a reading section, and a writing section. So 3 sections. Total less than 3 hours testing time.
Okay. All right. Is it okay if we don't take Spanish right now as our language? Of course. Yes, we have lots of students that took other languages during their middle school years, and they enter in, and sometimes they are in Spanish 1, sometimes they're in Spanish 2 if they decide to study for the placement test over the summer. So it's fine if you don't take Spanish as your language. Our instructor is very open to students who have never studied the language before. Okay. Topics and guidelines to write the essay. So, Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that? I'm not sure if they're talking about the essay on the application.
I'm assuming for the admissions test is what this question's about. So similar to what you would have learned in English class, it will be a persuasive essay. So you'll be asked a question. You're going to be asked to take a position and support your position with evidence. So, like any English teacher would teach you, those are the expectations we have.
And then the prompt will vary each year. Okay. Have a basketball court. Yes, it does have a basketball court, and students will actually use that usually during the winter months, during the beginning of the school year in the fall. The teachers will actually have students outside primarily. During the winter months, they will cycle through different subjects in physical education. So it might be racquetball, it might be basketball, it might be volleyball, things like that. So it does have a very large basketball court. Okay. Let's see, Mr. Fernandez, you want to take that?
Yeah, so everyone that applies will be able to sit for the admissions test. I think it's pretty much straightforward. Again, everyone that applies will be able to test on December 11th.
That's assuming that they live in Middlesex County.
True.
and as their primary residence, as well as that they meet the basic requirements that they have Algebra 1 and will complete Algebra 1 by the end of their 8th grade year. Okay, so that's the basic requirement. Do you have a drama club? So, Ion, you want to take that? Talk about the different opportunities?
Yeah, at our school we have a number of clubs, including the music clubs. We have a brand new public speaking club and spoken arts club. And we have a number of clubs, not so much a drama club. And the reason that is because we need to coordinate with the college because we don't have a dedicated drama center for something like that. But it is possible for you to participate in your home school's drama theater type you know
Program.
type event, yes, program as well. I think one of the people at the school actually was part of their home school's theater or drama, and even if you can't, there's always opportunities for you to, if you do get in, to start getting that rolling here at the school. We're very open about starting new clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the language arts teachers actually do a lot of drama as part of language arts. So I know they do King Lear and they do costuming and they do sets, and they do a lot of performing of King Lear. I know they do they do other pieces from Shakespeare. So Ion, do you remember anything specific that you did? I know Miss Simon is our English language arts teacher, and she does a lot of that in her classes.
Yeah, of course. We had so much fun recreating the Crucible, and that's a book set around 1600s with the Salem witch trials. And what we had to do was that we had to make our own sets. We had to design our own walls and all sorts of stuff, and then we had to get costumes, dress up, and perform. And that was a whole unit. I think that took about a couple weeks of just making groups, making all this stuff, making your performance be the best that it can, so that we would be able to do something like that. And so, there's always opportunities like that. As I believe Mr. Jeffries, he said earlier that the arts education is woven into the English classes, and that is an excellent example of that.
Okay. All right, I think we already covered this one, but just so you know, if you look at the website, there in the FAQ portion, there are some sample test questions. So that'll kind of give you an idea of ways to prepare for the admissions test. Mr. Mosaad also just said that doing well in your classes in 8th grade will be very helpful. Okay, there's no other way to prepare except for those couple things that we mentioned. Okay. Let's see. Woodbridge and Edison Academy tests the same. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Yeah, the only difference between the two academies exams is that the Woodbridge exam will include some science questions. So the Edison Academy has a math section. The Woodbridge Academy will have a math/science section. And it's not so much knowledge that you need to bring coming in. It's being able to process information that's science-based.
Okay. All right. The students have an opportunity to graduate with an associate's degree too. So yeah, that is definitely an option. So this year's freshmen, we're going to have a cohort of students that will follow a specific pathway to be able to that will choose to follow a specific pathway, that will choose to have an associate's degree. So they would receive an associate's degree from Middlesex College, and we are working with the college right now to do that as a pilot program. And next year's class will have an even better opportunity to do something like that if they were to choose to do that. So we've had students that have received associate's degrees in the past, and they've kind of decided to do it on their own. And moving forward, our school will actually help make that happen for students, because we are on the campus of Middlesex County College of Middlesex College, and it's a great opportunity to be able to do that. Okay. How many students take the entrance exam? Mr. Mosaad, would you say around 400? Yep. So right around 400 every year. Some years it's a little more, some years it's a little less, but it's generally right around there. Do we need to stay in Middlesex County? So yeah, our school and district is funded through Middlesex County taxes. So the taxes that your parents pay or taxes that are paid through the rent that you pay actually go to Middlesex County. So those funds are actually used to help fund our school. So you do have to live in Middlesex County for the entire time. It needs to be your primary residence, that you live in Middlesex County in 8th grade when you apply, and then for the 4 years. Okay. We have had some students move out at at the end of their senior year, but generally students are in Middlesex County the entire time. Okay. Community service hours are needed to be eligible to apply. So we do not have a community service hour requirements, but your community service hours can be discussed during the interview portion. You can also include it in your essay if you'd like. We do look for students who are giving back to their community because we expect our students to do it as well. We don't have a requirement for that. However, when students apply to be in the National Honor Society and in some of our other clubs that are more service oriented clubs, there is a requirement for a specific number of community service hours, and there's a sheet that they fill out with all the various things that they do. So most of our students in the school actually give back to their community in a variety of different ways. Okay. And Ion is in the Interact Club. Do you want to talk about Interact real quick? That's a service oriented club.
Yeah, Interact is the community service club at our school, and we manage a major events such as the annual breast cancer walk at the Middlesex College or other places, and the annual talent show, as well as the summer festival. And these are I can't stress this enough how big these events are, and usually we have, if not majority of the school involved, and we get a lot of money, and all the money goes to charity. For example, Toys for Tot or Make Foods, and it's a lot of work being able to make an event and run it and have everything go as smoothly as possible. But it's extremely rewarding, and you honestly get handsomely rewarded with your community service hours. So yeah,
And we
it's
do
really
have
fun.
and we do have food drives for McFoods, which is Middlesex County, to help people who have food insecurities. Um, so we will have one usually in the fall and another one in the spring, and we have all that donated to McFoods. Okay, and that's something else that Interact will participate in. All right. Let's see, minimum score in the admissions tests. Most of the applicants who qualify, it really depends every year. So it depends. The admissions test changes every single year. So sometimes it might be a little harder, sometimes it might be a little easier. But we are looking at a decent number of students from that test to be able to bring in an interview. Okay, so if your score is not close to 100, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are ineligible for coming to the school. Okay. Are you having freshmen for a day? Yes. So, Mr. Fernandez, you want to talk about our freshmen for the day?
Sure. So, freshman for the day will be for the students that were accepted into our school. It's a fun 2 days. The incoming freshmen will get a taste of how a real academy student goes through about their day and their schedule. You will likely get paired up with somebody from your home district if possible. If not, we will still pair up with one of our wonderful freshmen. But you would come to school and get dropped off at around 8:45. You would bring your lunch, and you would just go about your day paired up with a current freshman, and just go about their day, meeting the teachers, seeing how the school is, and you would have to get picked up around 3:45, 3:30. But we do have that. It's usually around the springtime. But again, that's only for the accepted students for the incoming, the next class.
Yep. And it's an opportunity for you to experience what it's like to be a student at the academy. Um, and we usually have some activities during that time period for students to participate in. Okay. So as far as sports that our school offers right now, we have soccer. So we are in our soccer season, and because boys soccer and girls soccer are at the exact same time, our school has a co-ed varsity team and a co-ed JV team. So the students can play, and our soccer coaches encourage everyone to come out to play, whether you've had any soccer experience or not. And it's really a great opportunity for students to get to know each other, while playing soccer together. Um, and it gets them connected to the school very early. So usually the middle of August is when they start practicing for soccer. And then this spring, we will offer boys tennis. So because girls tennis is in the fall and boys tennis is in the spring, we can only offer it to boys. But we're adding in a tennis team for us, and we plan to have a JV and a varsity team. So we'll see. It depends on how many students come out. So this is our first year adding in tennis. The other thing that we offer is we have something called organized sports, which is usually right around March Madness. So it's an opportunity for students to compete in a volleyball tournament, in racquetball tournaments. What are some of the other ones, Mr. Mosaad, in organized sports?
I think we may have done pickleball last year, but I'm not certain.
Pickleball, racquetball, volleyball. I know I think floor hockey is one of them as well.
You do a basketball tournament too, I think.
I think they do a basketball tournament. So this is run by our JV soccer coach, Mr. Smith, and it's a 3-week long event where students are competing, and it's usually in March, and it's a time when it's dark outside, and we want to have some fun together. Okay. For recommendations, Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that one?
Sure. So the recommendation letter is not a requirement for the initial application. It's for phase 2. So if you are still eligible after the admissions test, when we make a cutoff, then at that point we will ask for a recommendation letter, one letter from a teacher. We prefer it be math or science, a STEM teacher, but it can be from any teacher that you have. And again, this is not part of the first phase of the application process. This would come later if you're still eligible after the admissions test.
Okay, good. All right. When would I have to live in Middlesex County by? So I would say you'd have to live in Middlesex County by the time the application is due. We're not going to be able to take information from a New York school for you to be able to apply. So I would say that you need to move pretty soon. The application is due the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So I would say that you'd have to be there for that, for students to be able to apply. Okay. Math is covered from freshman year to senior year. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Sure. So we're very proud of our math offerings, both our curriculum and our extracurriculars. So I'll go through those a little bit with you. So all our students start with Algebra 2 in freshman year. And we mentioned before that Algebra 1 is a requirement coming into our school. So some students have taken geometry, some students have not taken geometry at the end of 8th grade. So all students who have not taken geometry would be required to complete it over the summer prior to 9th grade, so that we can start all freshmen in Algebra 2. Sophomore year, all students will take pre-calculus, honors pre-calculus. Junior year, all students will take AP Calculus BC. Senior year, and this is the first year that we're offering this to all students, would take Calculus 3 and differential equations as 2-semester courses that are both eligible for college credit. So, even though we're a very small school, we think that our offerings are as far and as wide as any large school that you'd find around here. So we think we have a very rigorous curriculum that challenges our students. And on top of that, the extracurriculars in math, we have a very active math league that competes not just in the Central Jersey Math League, which is a monthly competition among local schools, but also many national competitions that meet either online or in person. So we think the offerings we have are great. Definitely something you should take advantage of if you're a student in our school, particularly if you're interested in math. So, and you can go to our website. If you go under academics, you'll see all the curricula there. And just one more thing is computer science. So in the past couple of years, we've added computer science offerings as well. And these are all online optional courses. They're not required, but students are encouraged to at least take 1 year of computer science, and they could take up to 3 years right now. So again, those details are all on our website under academics, mathematics.
Okay. All right. Once accepted, is there a requirement to stay in the program? Does a student take a placement test every year to stay in the program? No. You would take a placement test for the initial acceptance and the initial application process, but you do not have to take a regular test. However, you do need to maintain decent grades in the school. If you failed a bunch of subjects, we would have to meet with you to try to get that corrected. But if a student is continuing to struggle, very often it's recommended that they go back to their home district. Okay, because it is a pretty rigorous school. Okay, but there isn't a placement test that you have to take every single year to be able to stay in the school. Okay. Um, how diverse and inclusive are the students admitted? Um, hmm. I would say that we don't specifically look at different individuals with regard to diversity. So but we do take it into account when we're making our decisions about bringing students uh, into the academy and accepting them to the academy. Okay, so it's really dependent based on their merit. So based on how well they do on the placement test, their grades in seventh and eighth grade, and their interview. Okay, so we look at that primarily, but we do take into account students from a wide variety of different backgrounds, and we want to make sure that it's as inclusive as possible for our students that are accepted. Okay. Um, Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Yeah, so normally we do require standardized test scores as part of your application. This year, we decided to eliminate that portion of the application for the reason that you're stating. We know that due to COVID, standardized tests were not given the last 2 springs. So that is not a requirement in our application this year.
Yeah, so I don't know if you missed the very beginning, but this stream, along with all the questioning at the end, will be available as a link on our website probably on Monday. So you'll be able to watch this again to be able to get the various answers to the questions. If you wanted to watch it again, and for individuals who may have missed this opportunity, they can watch it later. Okay. Will the STEM school help with an astronaut career? Yes, there were a lot of students last year, and I know that the space field has been heating up lately. So it will definitely help. We do have a rocket club. It's the NASA Park Rocketry Challenge that our students participate in. We have students that also participate in several other events. One is the Artemis program, which was a program where students designed a rover for the moon, and all of the computer programming behind that. We also had students that participated in something called Space Set, which was a space settlement competition. So we do have a pretty decent group of students, or a proportion of our students, who are interested in going into space technology of some kind. Okay, so it will definitely help. Let's see, will the math and ELA tests take place at different times, or will it just one test encompassing everything we need to answer? So, Mr. Mosaad, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so all admissions testing will be done in one morning. So there'll be 2 separate sections for math and reading and writing, but all of them will be back to back in the same morning. So it's just one day of testing.
All right, bus transportation available for students. So yes, your home district is required to provide transportation to our school. So our school would be considered a magnet school for students that live in Middlesex County and pay taxes in Middlesex County. So you would also pay taxes to your individual township. So the township taxes would be used to provide transportation to school in the morning, and students arrive anywhere from around 8 o'clock to around 8:40 or so. And homeroom starts at 8:45, and students sit in our commons area or in the media center and wait for the start of school year, wait for the start of the school day, and they do homework and chat and visit or whatever. So at the end of the day at 3:30, there will be a bus provided for you home. Okay, so that everyone leaves at 3:30. We do not have an activity bus. Most clubs will meet after school from 3:30 to 4:30, so students um, will need to get a ride from their parents. We do encourage parents to get to know each other and carpool, especially if they live, a far distance from the school. It makes it much more convenient for students to be able to participate. And now that after being in lockdown and in a pandemic for almost 2 years now, students and teachers have the ability to meet online pretty regularly. So many of the clubs actually meet online. There are some clubs that still choose to meet in person after school, but a lot of our clubs have actually moved online to have online meetings. Okay. So transportation is provided. We do not provide a late bus because the late bus would have to go throughout all of Middlesex County, and the students wouldn't get home till 6 or 7 o'clock at night. But your home district, your home township, will actually provide transportation to and from school. And if there's any issues with the busing, you would contact your township. We provide support for that as much as possible, but you as the taxpayer have the most pull with regard to getting things adjusted with your transportation, but it is provided. Okay. Let's see. Is this a VOTEC or STEM school or a school we heard both during the video? So our school is part of the Middlesex County Vocational Technical Schools. Okay, so we are a school within in that district. All right. So in our district, we have traditional vocational technical schools with things like carpentry and auto shop and culinary. We also have some of our schools offer um, filmmaking and dance and visual arts. We have you know those type of schools. The Woodbridge Academy is a school that is dedicated to allied health and biomedical technology, where we are an engineering career academy. So when you think about a VOTEC school, think about it as a career academy. So students spend a good portion of their day focused on a specific career. Our career is engineering. Okay, so we focus on engineering. In addition to that, we have a high-powered math and science curriculum that helps support that. All right, so that's really the difference. So this is a STEM school, but we are part of the Middlesex County Vocational Technical Schools district, okay, which is a county-wide district. Okay. Let's see, where do they post who has been accepted to the school? So Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Sure. I'll just go through the admission cycle, an overview, and I think there is an overview on the website, but just to repeat it. So applications are due in November. The admissions test is in December. Generally, in January is when we would make a cutoff and begin phase 2 of the process. So at that point, you would know if you're eligible to make it to phase 2. If you are eligible for phase 2, you'll be signing up for an interview time, and you'll be asked to submit a letter of recommendation. After the interview, which generally takes place in February or March, we issue decisions. So by the end of March, you would usually know if you've been admitted to the school. And it's not posted online. It's something you receive through your admissions portal. And at that point, you'd be asked to either accept or decline admission so that we know who to expect in our freshman class. Just to go on the other path for a second, if you do not qualify for phase 2, so in January, if you find out that you did not qualify based on the admissions test and your application, you are still eligible to apply to our traditional VOTECs. So you can fill out another application on the same website for traditional VOTEC, and they generally process applications later in the year. So if you decide, I am interested in film, I am interested in culinary, or another offering in our district, you can still apply for that in addition to the academy application that you've done. And they would usually get back to you on a rolling basis. So I hope that provides you enough information.
Okay, good. All right, next question. Let's see, recommendations be only from teachers of the middle school, or can it be from anyone else? Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that one too?
Sure, yeah. So we ask that the recommendation letter be from a middle school teacher, generally 7th or 8th grade. Like I mentioned before, preferably STEM because we are a STEM school, but it could be from an English teacher, it could be from a language teacher, as long as it's a school teacher. because it's only one letter, we ask that it be from a teacher.
Okay, good. And then as far as our grading system is concerned, I'm not sure what you guys are asking on there. We have a traditional grading system with Ion. Did you want to talk about that? I think the lowest grade would be, it's a 65.
Yeah, I
So
actually
the lowest
have
D I think is a 65. Ion's got it up on the board there, so he's gonna
a
show it
report
to
card
us.
grading system. Yeah, all day. Thanks, Mr. Fernandez. Yeah, and, it's very
65 is
important.
the lowest grade and 100 is the highest grade. We do give A pluses, A minuses, A's, and things like that. So you want to go over that for us real quick, Ion?
Yeah, I think it's fine if I just hold this while I talk. So in middle school, for me, it was that 92 to 100 was an A, and anything and 92 to like 83 was a B, and that's the same for my home district high school, and it's slightly different in that there is more leeway for the difference in sizes. So A in this school is 100 to 90, and then that's including A plus, A plus, or A minus, and then B's, as you can see, 89 to 80, and then C 79 70. And the difference is that you have the A's, it's a pretty wide margin. Like if you get a 93 or a 96, you're still going to get an A on your transcript, and that's important because they're not going to, because that's how it's weighted into your, based around the A's, A pluses, the letters on your transcript. And so having that available is, very important. I mean, you saw the numbers there. It's just very similar to what you've seen in middle school. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
All right, good. Thank you. All right, and let's see. Can the child continue in French? So they can't continue in French actually in our school because unfortunately we only have the one world language teacher, and we teach Spanish at our school. Students do continue in French outside of school. It may be a French heritage school. And when students get to their junior year, actually the spring of their sophomore year, they can start taking classes online at Middlesex College, and they can take classes in their junior year if they'd like to continue with French there. So we'd love to be able to offer more languages, but because of the size of the school, we don't have that as an opportunity. I've asked to bring in Mandarin Chinese. I'll answer that. It has not been granted yet, but I'd like to add that in because a lot of our students will be working in careers where they'll be doing business with China. So it'll be good to have a basic understanding of Chinese. So we'll see moving forward if that's added. I'm going to continue to ask for it, but I know a lot of students actually took French and actually started in Spanish 1 and have really enjoyed it. So our teacher, Senior Acker, is well aware that some students did not take Spanish before, and they are able to be very successful with it, even though they didn't take it in middle school. Okay. Next question. All right, transportation, how does it work? Are all the bus stops within walking distance to their home? So that's going to be determined by the home district. And in many cases, the home district will actually contract out to an outside carrier. All right, so they'll have an outside carrier provide the transportation. So the outside carrier will be the one that actually makes that decision and will communicate the bus stop for you. All right. In most cases, the bus stop is within walking distance, a short walking distance from your house. But I think it varies based on different towns, and it varies based on different carriers. So I know they're going to try to make it as efficient as possible. A lot of the bus carriers that are provided now, we do have a bus driver shortage. We have a bus shortage, and they are trying to be as efficient as possible because they might have a run before they pick up our students. They might have a run after they pick up our students, or they might be going on a field trip or something like that. So I know that they're trying to be as efficient as possible. And the traffic in Middlesex County, for those of you who live here, it takes a while to get around certain towns. Okay. All right. Does the school have a zero period? So it doesn't have an official zero period. However, there are some buses that arrive at 5 minutes to 8 o'clock, and students will be able to sit in the commons or in the media center. We do have staff members that will be there with them to make sure that they are supervised and that they are safe. And a lot of times students use that time to get extra work done, or to visit with their friends, or eat breakfast sometimes, or whatever. So in a sense, it does not have a zero period, because we just don't have that as an opportunity. Okay, next question. Internet connection. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Yeah, so obviously on the day of the exam, we hope things go as smoothly as possible. We know things will happen. So we'll handle any instances of internet connection loss on a case-by-case basis. So, you'd report that to your proctor, obviously after you regain your connection, and then we would determine if any additional time would be granted based on that time that was lost.
Okay. All right, good. And there is another question here that I see in the chat that's not up, is there more weightage given to geometry students? So we don't take into account whether a student had geometry or algebra 1 during their 8th grade year when we make decisions about bringing students in. Okay, so just because your school doesn't offer geometry does not mean that you're going to count less, or if you had geometry that you count more. All right, we want to give everyone in the county an opportunity to come to the school. Okay. How many students are in a typical class? So I would say 22, because we accept 44 students per year. So 22 is about what we will have. We try to have an even mixture. So there's usually two classes per period per grade. Okay. Sometimes we will have a subject like Spanish, like AP Spanish, where we'll have a little bit more, just because we'll have a larger number of students that are interested in taking it. So AP Spanish would be considered an elective. Some of our math electives may have a couple more than that, but probably no more than, say, 25 students per class. Some of the other electives, like public speaking, might have 8 students or 10 students or something like that. But I would say on average, it would be 22 students, between 21 to 23 students at the max. Okay. Are private schools counted as part of the township where it is located, where you would be considered for admission? So you would need to live in Middlesex County. So you could go to a private school in Middlesex County, but live outside of Middlesex County, and you would not be eligible to apply to the school. All right. But if you go to a private school in Middlesex County or outside of Middlesex County, but you live and pay taxes in Middlesex County, you're able to go to our school. Okay. So that's kind of the general rule. And, we have a map where we'll look and see where you live to make sure that you actually live in Middlesex County, to be able to come to the school. All right. Because this is a county-wide school and we are funded through our county, that it's important that we have only individuals from our county that are attending the school. Okay. So we have had students who have done part of their middle school years outside of the U.S. So that has happened before. Sometimes we'll have to take a look at a transcript and convert it into a more U.S. based transcript. And we've had that happen before, but the most important thing is that you're in Middlesex County in your 8th grade year when you apply. Okay, that you actually live there as your primary residence. All right. What are the school hours during the school year? So generally we will have staff there from 7:30 to 8:30. Most of the rest of the staff will arrive at 8:30 and be there till 3:45. Most of the office staff will be there until 4:30. Generally, I will be there till 4:45, 5 o'clock, depending on if students are staying after school. Okay, so I would say we're open from 7:30 through 4:30, but generally the office hours would be from 8 to 4:30. We have staff members in the office to answer the phone. Okay. Do you verse other schools like JP? Oh, so I guess like we compete against them. Generally, we don't, because JP Stevens would be a larger school than us. So if you're talking about soccer or in some sort of sporting event, in soccer, we would play other schools that are our similar size. Okay, so we are in the GMC division, the gold division of the GMC. So we compete against other small schools like the Woodbridge Academy, like Perth Amboy Tech, like East Brunswick Tech. So other schools that are of similar size to us. Okay, so we don't generally compete against them. We do compete against JP in things like Science Olympiad, Math League, Science League, some of the other competitions that we would participate in. We would compete against JP Stevens in those types of things. Okay. Every month we do have a Rotary breakfast where different students in the local Edison area, because it's sponsored by the Edison Rotary, are actually honored. So we will have JP Stevens students, Edison High School students. We'll have students from St. Joseph's, students from South Plainfield, and I'm trying to think who else. Us and Edison Job Corps. So we'll have a Rotary breakfast for students of the month, and then at the end of the year, we'll actually have a student of the year dinner for all of those schools as well. So we see those students there as well. Is there a FIRST robotics team representing the school? So we have a VEX robotics team, which is pretty selective, and you have to actually apply to be part of the VEX robotics club. We don't have a FIRST robotics team, but a lot of our students participate in either their home district. So North Brunswick has a FIRST robotics team for FTC and for FRC. And a lot of our students actually participate in their home robotics, kind of like Ion participating in his marching band. They can still participate and have that connection to their friends that they grew up with or to their hometown. And then we have a couple of students that participate in a community-based team. So there's a team called Say What, and Say What is a team that's, I believe, in Edison. It's an Edison-based community team that students participate in. And last year, I don't think they had any in-person competitions. This year, I think they will start to have them, and students would be excused. We had some students on the North Brunswick robotics team, Raider Robotics, that participated in the World Championship and were out for a few days as they traveled down for that competition. Okay. Next question. 7th grader going to the school in New York is eligible if they live in Middlesex County for 8th grade. Yeah, so at the time of application, you would have to have your primary residence in Middlesex County. Yes. So you would have to, when you're actually applying, you would have to provide proof of that. Okay, and you really need to be enrolled in a school in Middlesex County for us to be able to communicate with them. We don't have a mechanism in place for us to communicate with individuals outside of the county during the application process. Okay. Transfer from Votex from Edison to Woodbridge. I don't know that that's ever happened before. Generally, a student would just go back to their home district. They wouldn't transfer from one school to the other. Not while I've been the principal. That has not happened. No. A fee for the academy? No, the academy, as I said before, is paid by the county. So individuals that live in the county pay taxes either through their rent or along with their mortgage payments or whatever. They would pay taxes to the county, and the county would fund this school. Okay, so part of that tax base is in place for our district. So we're the Middlesex County Vocational Technical District and Technical Schools District, and so there is no fee. It is free of charge, and it would be considered a magnet school in the county. Okay. Any other question? All right, let me see. List of classes available during the 4 years of school. Mr. Mosaad, you want to take that?
Yeah, so I can just refer you again to our website. Under academics, you'll find by subject a description of all the courses we offer, including engineering, which of course is the unique offering for our school.
Okay. Let's see. Ratio of girls to boys. So when we bring students in, when we go through and make decisions about bringing students in and accepting them to the academy, we do try to have about a 50-50 split. Our current population is not necessarily a 50-50 split, but it's relatively close. So we want to give opportunities to both boys and girls, and we also want to give opportunities for a wide variety of individuals that come from different ethnic backgrounds as well, as much as possible. Okay. If you move to another county while in the STEM school, will you get automatically transferred to another STEM school? No. So if you move to another county, you would actually have to leave our school or transfer from our school to your home district, or you'd have to transfer to the new school district where you live. All right. Every individual magnet school within the county would have their own requirements for being accepted. So if you were to move to Monmouth County, say for instance, you wouldn't automatically go to High Tech High. You would have to apply for High Tech High, and every magnet school is slightly different as to what they, what procedures they follow. All right. Specialized courses related in the field of computer programming. Mr. Mosaad talked about a little bit before. I don't know if folks joined a little late. But if you did join late, I saw there was a question in there where folks thought that this started at 10 o'clock. It actually started at 9 o'clock. But if you go back and watch the recording, you can see the beginning portion of this recording to be able to get anything that you missed, because there will be a copy of this or a link to the YouTube of this on our website. All right. Mr. Mosaad, you want to talk about computer programming?
Sure, just to provide a little more detail. So I mentioned we have up to 3 years of optional computer science courses. So the first year is Intro to Programming using Python. The second year is AP Computer Science A in Java. And the third year is Intro to Quantum Computing, which is a new course this year. And all these courses are online. Students manage them on their own time from home, but they are optional. So if a student is not interested in any of these courses, that's fine. They're not a required part of our program. But again, we do encourage at least taking the intro course, because we think programming will be an essential skill for everyone in the future years.
Okay. Let's see. What's the difference between STEM offered at Edison High and this one? So I'm not 100% familiar with Edison, with the Edison STEM program, but I know that they have a focus on STEM, and they have some specialized programming that they do within Edison High School. So you would be part of Edison High School, and then you would do this specialized programming with that. Our entire school is kind of centered around STEM education, specifically engineering. Okay, so our students study engineering for 4 years. In addition to that, we do also offer, some math courses and some science courses that might not be offered at Edison High School. Okay, but we also don't offer the same number of AP courses that Edison High School will, just because of our size. So we're currently at 11 AP courses. So you would attend Edison High and then be part of the STEM the STEM program there, where we will actually offer a more holistic approach to STEM with regard to our course offerings, but also our extracurricular offerings. Okay. Let's see. Typical day once you're in the program. Do you study the whole time, or do you have time to spend time with friends and family? Ion, you want to take that one?
Yeah, this is it's a excellent question. I mean, I mean, having a life outside of school is very important. And school goes from like 8:30 to 3:30, and then getting home is around like 4:30. For me, a typical day goes like I wake up around 6, 7, get the bus, get to school, go to school, come home from school, and that's 4:30, and then I have the rest of the day to myself. I do a number of extracurriculars, like I work or lifeguard, and then there's marching band, and then there's literally anything else I can do in the time. Like there's like a 5-6 hour span, and if that isn't enough time to spend on your family, then I'm not sure. I mean, there's like a whole week and weekends too. I mean, the school, like it doesn't really give, like, people say that they don't really give out that much homework, And about like the thing is that the scheduling has it so that you only have 4 classes on one day and 4 classes on another day. So you actually have 2 days and not one day to do 4 classes worth of work that you need to do, except on Fridays when we have all of our classes. And that's great because if I don't want to do my linear homework, for example, on Wednesday, I could do it on Thursday instead because there's class on Friday. And that's great. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have a life. That's all I have to say about that.
One of the things that I can say is that we do encourage students to be well-rounded and that they want to make sure that they have time to have some fun. They want to have time to visit with their family, that they get enough sleep because too often our students don't get enough sleep and, that can affect their academic ability and they can end up getting sick from not getting enough sleep. So we encourage students to have kind of a well-rounded view. A lot of our students will actually participate in different clubs as an outlet, as opposed to doing, focusing on the academics. All right. So we do encourage that. All right. Okay. A couple more questions and then we're going to wrap up. Let's see, visiting sessions from different professors from top universities. Generally, we will have individual representatives that'll come in either online or they'll come in to visit, college admissions counselors that will actually come in and talk about the schools that our students may be interested in applying to. As far as visiting from top universities, we generally don't have that. Every once in a while, we'll have engineers come in to do things. We have a cybersecurity team where they'll bring in individuals that are in the cybersecurity industry in to talk to our students during engineering week. We'll have a variety of different types of engineers that will come in, talk about what their jobs are. So we really focus on more of a career aspect with regard to getting students exposed to different opportunities for them as they make their decisions about what type of programming they want to go into. Okay. And there is a question here. Let's see. Yes, you can choose to reject it and attend your public school. So I think that that's something that if a student gets accepted and they decide at the last minute that they don't want to come, that's fine. We will take a student from the wait list. Okay. How much homework approximately do you get per day? Ayan, you want to talk about that?
I mean, it depends on the class. I think it's like a more class basis. Like if for example, calculus or statistics, you're going to get something to do every day. After class, and something like linear algebra. Mr. Mosaad is very strict about giving her every single day, and that's great because the work is very useful. A lot of the time, homework is optional, and it's not going to be graded because it's just this whole point of a homework. Our point of homework is to help you understand the material, and teachers, unlike middle school, or elementary school, they're not really going to be checking whether or not you did your homework, or not going to be grading it like they've always done. It's just really on you, on a personal responsibility, to be able to do what you need to do to be able to prepare for the next class. It's I spend more time studying than doing my homework because I think the idea of homework at the school is for you to study and be prepared for the class and what's going to come.
All right, great. There's a question there about Elon Musk. No, Elon Musk has not come here, but he has an open invite. So if you know him, let him know. He's welcome to come by at any point. Let's see. When a student moves out of county during the 4 years, 8th through 12th grade, will the vacancy be filled by a wait list? So generally, we will have students. So we had a freshman that decided to leave last year because of whatever reason. And we did bring in a 10th grader in the beginning of the 10th grade year. That's about the latest point that we've ever brought someone in. And that's actually pretty rare for us to do that. But we did choose a student from the wait list from the year prior to come in. And we provided some extra help for them in the evening with the engineering professor to be able to go over anything that they have missed to kind of get them up to speed. And Ion is a prime example of someone who came in the beginning of their 10th grade year. So you want to talk about that experience for us, Ion? And then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah, I came in the middle of my freshman year, and the thing about that is that we have full year courses, and I came up from a school that had half year. That was a problem because I had to catch up about a half a year's worth of material, and if you're going to transfer in like that, it's going to be a lot of work to be able to catch up and be able to make sure that you get good grades, and making sure you're on top of your classes. And by then, it might be too late to join some of the clubs, so you're gonna have to wait till the next year. That's what happened to me. But if the latest And the thing is that with the engineering majors, you choose a major in the middle of freshman year, and that's actually right around when I joined. And if you come in, more often than not, you're going to have to do the civil mechanical engineering track, because the electrical engineering is just too competitive, and priority goes to those who took the exploratory and did well and stuff like that. So
All right.
yeah.
All right, great, awesome. So a couple more of the last ones. We do have field trips. We're bringing field trips back, just because we, during lockdown and during the pandemic, the district was not really was not really allowing a tremendous number of field trips for students. So we do have field trips. And let's see, one last question. Chess club. We've talked about starting a chess club. We have a bunch of students who are rated chess players. So we've talked about a possibility of kind of adding that in as a chess club. And let's see, I guess that's it. So we do recommend that you watch this open house. The link to the video on YouTube will actually be placed on our website for you to be able to view later. If you missed the beginning portion, you can go back and watch it. So we will put that up as soon as possible. And we thank you for your time this morning. We hope that we answered your questions. If you have any additional questions and you want to email one of us, our emails are actually on the website. So you can certainly email you. I wouldn't recommend you email Ion, but if you email me, Mr. Mosaad, or Mr. Fernandez, we will get back to you with your questions. Okay. And thank you, and thank you, Ion, and thank you, Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Mosaad, for taking the time this morning to participate in our open house. And thank you to Jocelyn for serving as our moderator this morning. My daughter Jocelyn helped us with the video, helped with the editing, and she also served as our moderator. So thanks a lot, Joss. All right, everyone, have a great day and get outside. Looks like the sun's out. All right, take care, everyone.